Well, this morning I'm here with Max Whitehead. It's a great opportunity to come and talk about both leadership and legislation. We were talking recently, Max, about the fact that in New Zealand there's a reluctance for people to come to work. And we have an issue that sometimes there's not enough people out in the marketplace with such low unemployment. What is happening in the market today, and what are the market factors that are encouraging people to come to New Zealand or keeping them away?
I think that's a very good question, and lovely to see you again, old friend. Look, I actually do think that's a big concern, and I don't see a lot of hard work coming from our government about actually asking people to come to New Zealand. The last time I touched on the fact that Jacinda announced with the British Prime Minister they were going to have a shared visa situation where people can come for 3 years. But then she quickly added afterwards, it might be next year when we make that change. Now, there's a change of government next year.
Yep.
And also we do know the powers of procrastination and never getting around to it, and promise is broken. So maybe we've got some concerns here that maybe that won't happen.
So are you trying to tell me, and I heard this many, many years ago, that there are three types of lies. There's small lies, there's big lies, and there's political lies.
I think they're all the same, aren't they?
It's hard to differentiate them sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
So are we creating an environment where it is becoming easier for people to come through? Are visas being processed in a timely fashion? And are we targeting the right people and the right skill sets to come through? It's great to have a backpacker in here in New Zealand.
I must admit I'm not an expert on this, but there's a lot of commentary within the business world that is saying, and I subscribe to as much as I can, that no, it's not happening, and the immigration and the borders are still restrictive, and the right people are not able to come through, and there's not enough urgency. You know, we need doctors, we need nurses, we need teachers, we need a lot of things desperately. Almost desperately. The health system is desperate for it. Why don't they let those borders go when those people can come here? Where they're turning doctors away in this country and saying, sorry, it's going to take too long to get you through those qualifications you need to finish off. And that is the government's probably, they could have expedited that and accelerate that process for us.
Well, you mentioned doctors, nurses, teachers, and we also have people who are in the retail hospitality industry who are screaming out for additional resources. I know franchise owners of some of the largest franchise restaurants chains here in New Zealand who say that they should have 350 on their staff rosters, but are currently restricted to 200 to 250.
Well, I believe we're down about 2,000 nurses. But look, the other factor is, which frightened me, is yesterday I subscribed to I go on LinkedIn, and this guy's just announced, he said, if you do go to Google, you can count what issues have been searched. It is moving to Australia is increased by, was it 22% in the last month? So people are looking at moving offshore, let alone, folks, us trying to attract people in. We're going to lose our existing experienced labour. And look, the HR people are here from Australia right now, staying in Auckland. I've actually know some of them are here now, and they're recruiting madly.
Wow.
And our staff are tempted. 30% increase in pay, why wouldn't you go?
Look, can I use a phrase? Brain drain? Are we seeing another brain drain happening?
No, I don't think it's just a brain drain. I think it's a complete drain. I think our labour's going as well. They're taking anybody and everybody that will go into Australia because they're losing as well, and that's not going to be good for us. We're going to be the bottom of the pile, and the employment laws are about to change dramatically. That also is a factor that's causing a lot of this behaviour.
So talk me through some of these new changes. What's happening with the legislation? What's going on that's going to be affecting business owners and businesses here in New Zealand?
There's a big change coming. This is going to be highly dramatic, whereupon I think you're going to see, and already we're seeing small businesses saying, I'm giving up here. And I've got to say my advice is probably go. Because if you can't get labour now, your business is struggling, you might as well go to Australia. Particularly small businesses, they can up and move very quickly. They haven't got the hardware they need, but larger businesses are struggling to move. So small businesses are moving offshore. Now, this labour change is going to be highly dramatic. I'd like to reserve that for next week.
Next week it is. I'm looking forward to coming back.
Thank you. We'll see you then.